Hey everybody, it's Tiffany here with a Friday edition of Meet the Trainers, and I have to take a moment to especially thank Mr. Steve Moses for several reasons. Number one, you have been one of the longest serving TACCON trainers, always bringing us your expertise and sharing your knowledge with us, and we really appreciate that. Number two, you're giving me a chunk of your Friday night, which is unheard of. I apologize for that. And number three, you're fresh off of back surgery and you had a kind of a rough holiday season and turn of the year. So, with all of that, you still managed to make time for me and for TACCON. I really, really appreciate it. So, thank you very much for that. For anybody who doesn't know how awesome you are, please introduce yourself to the TACCON family.
Well, yes, ma'am. My name is Steve Moses. I've been a firearms trainer now for 32 years. I met Tom in 1999, so that kind of gives you a little insight into how long ago that our friendship goes. I am a co-director and part owner of Palisade Training Group, along with my business partner, Alan McBee. We're based out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I am someone that views what I have done in the tactical community as a phenomenal journey. I'll never reach the destination. There's never going to be an end to the learning. I'm especially blessed uh, in terms of how long I've been in here, in terms of how difficult it was to gain information and instruction back when I started in 1993 as to where we are in 2026. And I mean, this current generation, the opportunity they have for, being exposed to some of the best training in the world without ever leaving the comfort of their bedroom, behind their laptop is just amazing. So, still glad to be going at it. And I still think I have a little bit to offer to the community. And I'm going to keep doing that until my friends and family say, hey, old man, go sit in that rocker and, watch the birds play.
Well, we are certainly lucky to have you. And when you do decide to take up that rocker, be sure to bring it to TACCON. We'll have a nice pillow for you there. But I don't anticipate that happening anytime soon. I am really excited to talk about your classes. Are you've got tons of experience in lots of different areas, but one of the things you've become particularly known for is your expertise in church security and securing houses of worship. And you've got two programs, two blocks on that topic at TACCON this year, which is really interesting. You've got one that is a classroom block, I believe that one is on Friday afternoon in D block,
Yes, ma'am.
church security team development, and then a live fire version called church security pistol skills. Tell us
Yes, ma'am.
about those two classes.
Well, in terms of the first one, this is built around an outstanding PowerPoint program that I have. And the reason that I'm patting myself on my back is I'm patting you on your back because, you basically turned that mud baby into a work of art. And so we've got about a 90-minute PowerPoint program in which we're able to get a lot of information out there. For one thing, the last thing we ever want to do is have to use force, much less lethal force, against another person. So, looking forward, why don't we go ahead and make preparations to secure that house of worship so that such a situation is unlikely to occur? But if it does, we're in a position to deal with it. So we're going to talk a lot about, the understanding that, man, we're taking on tremendous liability because basically what we're doing without being law enforcement officers, we're agreeing to enter into third person defense. And we're going to do this in an environment where there may be anywhere from tens to thousands of people in range of an errant handgun round. So that's a lot of accountability and liability along with the responsibility that goes on. So it's something to really understand that. Uh, we think it's very important, though, to understand that the possibility of an active shooter is really quite low, although the stakes are high. But there's a whole lot of other really bad things that can happen. And, we operate under the principle one death is one death too many.
Mhm.
So, understanding what the threat may look like, and it may not be that guy walking in with a ninja mask, carrying an AK-47. It could very well be a case of domestic violence
Mm.
or personal conflict.
Mhm.
And one of the other things that we have to think about, if you look at the White Settlement shooting, is that really didn't start out as an active shooter. It started out as dealing with a person of suspicious intent. And we saw what could happen there. Well, we actually want to be in a position where we can intercept that person, engage in a friendly conversation, interview them, and see where it's going to go. And if it starts to go bad, let it happen there. And even more so, be prepared for that to happen. And I think a big part of what we focus on is going to be tactical positioning. And what that simply means is we want our people to kind of understand how important it is to be able to do site evaluation of whatever house of worship that you happen to be in that moment, whether very small or very large, and how to position your people so that in the event that something happens, you have people that can quickly respond to it, and more so to act as a deterrent.
Mhm.
And we're not talking about, standing around, wearing black uniforms with M4s. We're talking around, standing around, looking around, and how important also to not only have our team in a position where they can pick up and communicate that stuff, but also work with other members of the house of worship, whether it is, it's the faith leaders, the greeters, the parkers, the ushers. There's a lot of other people that, if we tie this in, we communicate with them, then we've got a multitude of quasi trained eyes and ears. And that's what's going to make us as safe as we can.
Folks, if you can't tell from hearing Steve talk about this, he is absolutely an expert. And if you don't know what he means by interviewing, then you absolutely need to come to the class. If you've volunteered for your church security team just because you have a permit, and you're trying to help out, but there's not much organization and there hasn't been much thinking through of the contingencies and the partnerships that you have to, cultivate. All of that is covered in splendid detail by Steve, and your live fire class takes scenarios and puts people in realistic, situations where the distances, the times, the considerations, the environment are designed around some things that you've gone through in your career. Is that right, Steve?
Yes, ma'am. We're going to just focus on two scenarios. We only got 2 hours. So we're
Mhm.
going to focus on two scenarios, but they are probably going to be the most common scenarios. And scenario number one, of course, is going to be the active shooter. And for the most part, responding to an active shooter, it doesn't involve a four-man hostage rescue team. It doesn't involve drones. It involves the closest team member getting to the place where that's happening and putting pressure on that active shooter as soon as possible and effectively as possible in order to prevent them from, harming any more people. If we can get 2 men on there, that would be amazing, but it's something that's probably highly unlikely. So we're going to mostly focus on one man response to active shooter. And in most instances, most of that has to do from getting from point A to point B. The White Settlement shooting was an example
Mm.
in which the church security team member who basically took the shooter out, he did not have to move from his position. That's going to be a rarity. People don't really understand what a large part of movement plays in whether you're dealing with an active shooter or even whether you're dealing with personal conflict, domestic violence, or dealing with suspicious contact, which that is going to be the other scenario, is that we're proactively engaging with a third person when violence breaks out. So we want to be able to incorporate movement in that if we're going to stand there flat footed at a distance a few yards and exchange rounds with another person, uh, probably it's not going to go well. Well, we're going to talk about just some very simple tactics in movement drills in which we think would give that church security team member an advantage. And we're going to cap that off with hopefully two items. Item number one is going to be is we're going to teach the Palisade Training Group 10-round short test. And this is just a 10-round test. Your distances are from 2 to 10 yards. There's 5 strings, 4 strings, which require movement. And what we have found is that that incorporates many of the skills that we might need that might be useful if we are forced to use our handgun. And the second thing is it takes into consideration that we may have to move in from someone in order to move through a crowd and do that safely so that we're not muzzling anybody there and then engage that person. But by the same token, if violence breaks out at, say, a distance of 5 or 6 feet, it doesn't matter what we train. Hey, never back up going straight backwards, always move back, on the lateral. The reality is people are going to do what they're going to do, and we understand that you're going to probably back out of there. Well, if you're going to back out of there, well, then let's get some rounds on target. And if we have a little bit of time, which I hope to do, uh, we've got an active shooter lecture. This is something that we lecture all of our students before we put them through the active shooter shooting portion of our longer class. And there's a lot of critical information in there. I think it was, golly, I think it was William Apron that said that, you know what, if you have a map, it's so much easier to make it your way through a terrain than if you don't. Well, hopefully we can give people a bit of a map there. And so that will wrap it up. And we hope that, it meets everybody's expectations. If not, if they learn just one good thing, well, then that'll be a good day for us.
Well, amen to that. Thank you so much, Steve. Folks, don't miss Steve's blocks, his church security blocks, the classroom version and the live fire version. You can take one or the other or both. And Steve, thank you again for making time, especially just a few days out from surgery. I wish you a safe and speedy and pain-free recovery, my friend. You get some rest, and I can't wait to see you in Dallas.
Can't wait to see you there, Tiffany. Thank you.